Your firewall is fine, your endpoint agent is fine, and this year the breach will still walk in through a person. Verizon's latest breach report puts a number on it. 60% of breaches involve the human element, a click, a call, a misdirected file. And the single most common way in isn't some exotic exploit. It's stolen credentials, a password someone was tricked out of. Here's the twist most companies get wrong. The answer to that is not another firewall. It's a security awareness and training program that actually changes behavior. Not the annual compliance video everyone clicks through on double speed. A real program with a design, a rhythm, and numbers a board can read. There's a paperwork reason too. Cyber insurance applications now ask about awareness training directly. A real program is one of the few premium levers you fully control. In the next 12 minutes, why most programs fail, the data that justifies the budget, the maturity model, the 4 pillars, honest platform picks, the metrics that matter, and a 90-day rollout you can start Monday. This is the guide for the IT manager who just became the security person. Let's build it right. Start with the graveyard, because your program dies the same way everyone else's did if you copy them. Failure Mode 1, the annual compliance video, 1 hour once a year mandated by the insurance form. Research on forgetting curves says most of it evaporates within weeks. Failure Mode 2, gotcha phishing. Aggressive fake bonus emails, public shaming of clickers, punishments. It feels tough and it teaches employees to fear the security team. And people who fear you stop reporting. The one behavior that saves you in a real incident, hey, I think I clicked something, is the first casualty of a blame culture. Failure Mode 3, measuring completion instead of behavior. 100% completed the module. Wonderful. So did the person who clicked the invoice scam on Tuesday. Failure Mode 4, irrelevant content. The accountant sits through developer scenarios, the developer swipes past invoice fraud. Generic libraries feel efficient and train no one. The pattern behind all three, treating awareness as an event instead of a program. Events fade, programs compound. Now the part you'll paste into the budget request, because this is the best measured return on investment in all of security. Benchmark data across millions of real users. With no training, 33% of employees interact with a phishing simulation. 1 in 3. 1 in 3, if a third of your doors failed a lock test, you would not schedule an annual video about doors. Some industries start even worse. Healthcare baselines near 42%, insurance and retail close behind. Bigger companies test worse than small ones too. Now the payoff curve. 3 months into a real program, that click rate drops by 40%. 12 months in, it collapses to about 4%. One more encouraging split. Companies under 250 people baseline at about 25%, while 10,000-person enterprises start above 40. Being small is an advantage here. You can fix this in 1 quarter. 33 to 4, an 86% reduction in your most attacked surface for a few dollars per user per month, or free if you bring the time. No other line item in your security budget moves a risk number like that. Now let's design the program that earns it. Before designing the training, know what you're training against, because the threat has evolved past the advice most videos still give. The workhorse is still the credential phish. A pixel-perfect fake login page for your email suite, harvesting the password that becomes that #1 breach vector. Then business email compromise. No link, no malware, just a convincing urgent pay this invoice from a spoofed executive. It quietly outturns ransomware most years. The newer arrivals, QR code phishing that jumps from the email to your personal phone right past the corporate filters. Multi-factor fatigue attacks, spamming push notifications until a tired thumb taps approve at 11 p.m. And callback phishing, an invoice with a phone number instead of a link, so the victim dials the attacker's own call center voluntarily. One more update for your content, AI writes the lures now. Flawless grammar, cloned house style. Look for the typos is officially dead advice. Teach the tells that survive. Unexpected urgency, request to move money or credentials, channel switches, and anything that says don't tell anyone else. First, locate yourself. The SANS Security Awareness Maturity Model gives you 5 stages and an honest mirror. Stage 1, non-existent, no program at all. More common than anyone admits, especially under 200 employees. Stage 2, compliance-focused. The annual video lives here. It satisfies the auditor and changes absolutely nothing. And honestly, this is where most organizations are sitting right now. The jump from 2 to 3 is the one that matters, and it's concrete. From one annual event to a monthly rhythm, from generic content to role-relevant scenarios, from completion reports to behavior metrics. Stage 3, behavior change. Regular short trainings plus simulations and click rates actually start moving. This is the first stage that earns its budget. Stage 4, culture change. Security becomes normal behavior. People report weird emails the way they'd report a gas smell. Stage 5, metrics driven. You steer the program by data and report it upward like any other business function. The goal of this video is to move you from wherever you are to stage 3 in 90 days, with stage 5's measurement habits from day 1. Every working program I've seen stands on the same 4 pillars: policy, training, simulation, metrics. Miss one and it wobbles. Pillar 1, policy, 1 page, plain language, what to report, how to report it, and a written promise that reporting is always safe even if you clicked. Pillar 2, training, short beats long, monthly beats annual, relevant beats generic. 10 minutes a month on real scenarios outperforms the yearly hour of stock footage. Pillar 3, simulation, regular, realistic, and coached. The simulation exists to build the reporting reflex, not to catch sinners. Pillar 4, metrics, decide before you start what you'll measure and show the board. We'll spell those out in a minute. On frequency, simulate at least quarterly, monthly if you can. The reflex you're building decays without reps, exactly like any other training. Policy makes it safe, training makes it known, simulation makes it practiced, metrics make it funded. That's the whole machine. Quick force multiplier while we're on training content. Segment by role, attackers already do. Finance gets the invoice fraud and payment change scenarios because that's who receives them. HR gets malicious resume attachments. Engineering gets fake app consent and access token grants. Executives and their assistants get the whaling module. They are the most impersonated and the most targeted people in the building. Role relevant beats generic so consistently that if you only make one content upgrade this year, make it this one. Now the tooling question everyone actually Googles. Which platform? 3 honest answers depending on who you are. KnowBe4 is the market leader, the biggest content library, the benchmark data we quoted earlier, strong compliance reporting. Ballpark $1 to $3 per user per month. It's the safe pick for a mid-sized company that needs coverage, breadth, and reports an auditor will recognize. Hoxhunt takes the behavior science route, adaptive, gamified micro-trainings tuned to each person. Where it shines is engagement, people actually play along and report rates climb. And the free path is genuinely viable now. NIST refreshed its program building guide in late 2024, free, and CISA publishes ready-made awareness materials. Pair that with the phishing simulator already inside Microsoft 365 Defender or the open-source Go Fish, and a 50-person company can run the whole program for $0 license dollars. 2 buying tips whichever way you go. Run your unannounced baseline before any vendor pilot, so the before number is yours, and remember per seat annual pricing is negotiable, especially in the vendor's 4th quarter. The honest rule, under about 50 seats or 0 budget, go free and spend your time. Above that, the platform pays for itself in admin hours saved. Metrics time, and here's the counterintuitive one. The click rate is not your star metric, the report rate is. A clicked fish that gets reported in 2 minutes is a contained incident. An unclicked fish nobody reports leaves the attacker free to try the next 100 inboxes. So your board slide has 4 lines. Report rate climbing, time to first report shrinking, fish-prone rate trending down quarter over quarter, and the repeat clicker group getting smaller. Add 1 bridge metric that ties to how breaches actually start, multi-factor and password manager adoption. Remember, credential abuse is the #1 door in. Give the numbers context too. Put your fish-prone rate next to the industry baselines from earlier. We're at 9% against a 42% industry baseline is a sentence a board remembers. In completion rate, report it as hygiene if you must. Just never present it as success. The board deserves outcomes, not attendance. 2 special populations decide whether your numbers actually reach that 4%, so plan for both up front. First, the repeat clickers. Every company has a small group that keeps clicking no matter how much training you pour on them. The answer is not firing them and not endless remedial modules. It's wrapping their risk in controls. Phishing-resistant hardware keys, tighter mail filtering, and browser isolation for the roles that need it. Train the behavior you can change, engineer around the behavior you can't. Both are legitimate security outcomes. Second, new hires, statistically your most fish-prone cohort. They don't know the company's normal yet, and attackers know the start date announcements on LinkedIn too. So the awareness module goes in week 1 of onboarding, not month 3, and contractors and temps take it exactly like employees. Attackers don't check employment type. Here's the whole program as a 90-day plan. 4 moves, 1 quarter, no consultants required. Days 1 to 15, publish the 1-page policy, wire a 1-click report fish button into the mail client, and run an unannounced baseline simulation. That baseline number is your before photo. Days 16 to 45, start the monthly 10-minute micro trainings and make leadership take them first. Visibly, nothing kills a program faster than an exempt executive. Days 46 to 75, second simulation. Clickers get a private, friendly coaching moment, never a wall of shame. Reporters get celebrated out loud. Days 76 to 90, pull the metrics, build the 4-line board slide, and book the quarterly rhythm going forward. Congratulations, you're at stage 3 and climbing. And 2 quick wins you can ship on day 0 before any of it. Turn on the external sender banner in your mail system and add the report fish button. 10 minutes, real risk reduction. Total cost for a 50-person shop on the free stack, roughly 2 workdays of setup in an hour a month. That's the entire mode. Last thing, and it's the part that makes everything else stick, culture beats fear every single time. A no-blame reporting culture turns every employee into a censor. A blame culture turns every employee into a witness who saw nothing. So celebrate the person who reports the weird invoice, especially when it turns out to be nothing. False alarms are the reporting reflex working. And reframe the stat we opened with. Yes, humans are involved in 60% of breaches, but trained humans also catch the attacks every tool in your stack missed. Your people are a detection layer, not just a liability. The same goes for leadership. When the CEO forwards a suspicious email to the report queue and mentions it in all hands, that story does more than any training module you'll ever buy. Do the 90 days, measure the before and after, and watch the scariest number in your company, that 1 in 3 click rate, become a rounding error. If this saved you a vendor pitch meeting or 3, subscribe. We turn security frameworks into plans you can actually run. Now go write that 1-page policy.